Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by Mystic Messages. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, glad to have you back. These messages are timeless, so whenever you receive them is when the universe wants you to have them. Today's discussion is going to be about the dangers of power getting into the wrong hands, which I felt was kind of interesting because we kind of have that situation happening right now in the world, and we all need to be vigilant with that. Now, part of what's happening in the world, all the chaos that you see, every craziness that's going on, is part of the divine plan. And this is where we need to be aware of what's happening. Those of us who know, if you know, you know, uh, we know that things need to break down in order for us to get into the new. And that can be scary for a lot of people. But what the message today is for those people who are feeling concerned and afraid, keep your faith and your eyes on the divine, and you're going to be okay. There's no need to fear what's happening out there because this was expected. This is part of the time that we're living in. We're moving, into the age of Aquarius, and things are going to be exposed, which is good. But there's also some chaos that ensues with that, and we will get past that as long as we remain strong, steadfast, and know that we keep our integrity and we can move forward with peace in our heart. And it's going to take bravery because we're going to have a lot of opposition from a lot of people. It hasn't started yet, but the divine has informed me that there is going to be, at some point, uh, a huge attack on the spiritual community coming from the top religious organizations. And this is all intentionally done because they're trying to keep the truth from being revealed. The truth that they already know, they don't want most people to have. Okay, so you have to think about that. So again, brings us back to the point of power getting into the wrong hands and the dangers of that. Now, I was watching a reboot episode of The Twilight Zone the other night, and as I was watching it, the divine inspired me to put that in this message. It'll be in the description box, so please always check the description box for bonus material that you're not going to get here, and you'll probably have a better clarification than me explaining it to you. Because as I've always explained to people, I'm not a public speaker. I'm a writer. So if you take some time, if after watching this message, if you're inspired to do so, please check the description box. There's no rush, there's no pushing, there's no forcing, because that's not what it's about. This is all about doing what feels right. And if you keep an open mind, you might find something. Even if you think that these messages might not have something for you, uh, you never know. There might be a word that you need to hear. This is how the divine works. He speaks through all of us. We just have to learn how to listen, you know? And it's very important right now in our times that we learn to listen. We have to take a break, take a deep breath, calm down, focus on what's happening around us. We need to maintain our integrity. We need to be strong. We need to be brave because there is a lot of opposition out there. And it's going to get uh, a little slippery as we continue. The more the spiritual movement continues to grow, the more opposition we're going to receive, especially from many top religious officials and their followers. This is how it works. They don't want people to know the truth. The power, unfortunately, for many years has been in the wrong hands, and it's time to be exposed for what it is. That's the bottom line. It has to be exposed because most of it, even though the basis of it was good, has been damaged by man's hands through the years in order to control other people. That's what basically religion was about. It divided people into groups, taught them to hate one another if they didn't believe as they did, which is has nothing to do with God. Nothing. I don't think God has ever said that anybody should hate anyone. Especially those who follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. Christ's consciousness was never about hate, was never about harming others, was never about controlling others. A lot of people misunderstand the words when Jesus said, "The way to heaven is through me," meaning not that you have to sit there and worship him night and day. What he meant by that was through his example, through his teachings. What did he teach people? What did Buddha teach people? What did Muhammad teach people? Think about this for a second. All these ascended masters were sent on this planet to teach everyone, and not to teach us how to control each other, but how to inspire and uplift one another. I think, we've lost that along the way, and we need to get back to that. If we want to see a better world, it starts with us within. You know, there's some chosen ones out there and star seeds. I'm having a message for you right now. The divine wants you to know that the opposition is going to start getting a little tighter for you. As you get closer to your destination, uh, the darkness is going to fight you tooth and nail and increase the opposition. And a lot of times that opposition is going to come through people you know. Now, it's very important how we react, okay? Years ago, when someone used to aggravate me and piss me off, I used to react. Okay, not to say, like I said, I'm human. I'm not perfect. Okay, even though I was chosen to do this, I do have a side that, used to get aggressive and fight back if I felt attacked because of the attacks that I felt most of my life. And most chosen people can relate to that. Most star seeds can relate to that. We don't have an easy route, you know. We're usually attacked from all sides by family members, friends, and whatever. And we have to learn, don't take it personally, because we have to understand that those people are being used by the darkness. They're being used like a vessel to get our weak point, to get a bad reaction out of us. And what does that do? When we entertain that, we hurt ourselves. When we don't forgive, we hurt ourselves. When we attack when someone hurts us, we hurt ourselves, okay? I'm not saying condone the attack and condone the bad things that they did, but what I'm saying is you forgive for yourself, you know, and say, you know what? This person is being controlled by something other than what I can see, okay? And this is why, we have to be stronger. We know better. Those of us in this position know better. We know what to do. If we want to move forward, we have to ensure that when we see things going wrong, that we have the courage to speak. When we see that power is getting in the wrong hands, we need to do something about that collectively. We have the power. We really do. We can do anything it is that we want to do as long as we have the light behind us. And we'll get there, but it has to be done together. We have to work in unity. We have to dispel the hate, dispel the misconceptions, dispel the judgments. That's why it's so important that Divine wanted me to put this video out there today. And especially Divine would like to ask everyone again to please watch the video with an open mind that's in the description box, because there is a message in there that somebody needs to receive. Okay, and we're going to leave it at that for today. I want to thank you for stopping by. Again, I appreciate all your comments, all your support, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.